still got no more sketches. I haven't done any of them today, unfortunately. But I've just finished chapter 9 of Darth Plagueis, and I'm going to give you my thoughts of it, just my immediate thoughts of it. So this is again one of those small business chapters, similar to the early bits of chapter 6 and chapter 5 in general. So it's one of those small, again as I said, business chapters, and we're getting to see a bit of how the mutants are, and how Plagueis and the mutants are seeking to benefit and profit from new plasma energy on Naboo, and how they're hoping to, I guess, get Bon Tapalo into being the monarch. And sorry, where was I? Sorry, I completely forgot where I was. I was just quickly had to check through something in the book. It's completely gone from my mind, unfortunately. But I think we were on the topic of what was going on with Topolo, weren't we? How he's a bit cautious of Damask Holdings. He of course wants their help. He clearly wants their help, but I guess his pride is getting in the way a little bit. And he's talking about how he would rather lose the election and still retain his honour than rise to power with dishonour. And you see how Lars Hill is a bit offended by having come all that way only to be told that's them helping him establish Naboo from being less of an isolated world into a more intergalactic world. Be a bit offended, just be a bit insulted by it. And then of course we have Varuna, Ars Varuna, and Ali Garth. I think pretty much just sums up the whole situation. If you want, I'll read it to you if I can quickly find it. He basically sums up the whole situation in a really condensed and concise way. Of course, they were at the moment they were in a bit of a hot spot with the opposing royal family, because they elect the electorate. I was trying for some reason doctrine came to mind, but no, electorate. And there's been allegations pushed against Parlo and his group of them being partnering up with illegal outsiders, which were Damask Holdings. Of course they're not illegal, but it's just Naboo is very sensitive to outsiders. And then there was a counter allegation supplied by Sheev Palpatine of the family made an agreement with mercenaries outside the planet should it be set back in a war that happened quite a few years ago, quite a few centuries, maybe longer ago, between the humans, or the Naboos as they call them for some reason. That's really confusing. Why can't they just use Nabooian or something like that? But between the Naboos and the Gungans, and now it's got getting into a bit of heat, and they're like lying about it's information they've known for a while, and they've just now decided to put it into the public because they because now we've put stuff out there against them, when in actuality the only way to have found that was through the family archives of the royal family, which could only have been supplied by Palpatine. So, but anyway, the whole situation, this is what Varuna really says, and I think this just is a good summary of what goes on alongside the intentions. We must be mindful of the concerns of the present electorate, but we shouldn't allow the fearful voices of a few to cripple our chance of joining the galactic community and raising the profile of the entire Chomwell sector. I suggest we act boldly to avoid being perceived as having bowed to pressure. I say we use this unprecedented visit by Damask Holdings to announce publicly that we and we alone are capable of entering into an agreement with the banking clan and others that will allow Naboo to restructure its sept, achieve favoured world status with the core, and provide for tax cuts, lower interest rates and endless opportunities for employment both on and off world. We must seize this moment before it disappears. And I think that really just is a quick summary of what their main goal is. And honestly, I really should quickly write up something of what's that meeting in chapter 6 of the key points in chapter 6, because I've completely forgotten what those key points were. All I really remember was that there was a pod race, and that it was going to affect the ground, and of course the little reptilian people, I can't remember the names, supplied plasma, the information of plasma reserves. Anyway, yeah. I guess we may as well go to Palpatine, who we get introduced to in this chapter. And he's cautious of Plagueis, and reasonably so. You know, he's got this person he's never seen before, only heard of, coming up to him. And Plagueis is, again, he takes that manipulative side. Plagueis he's very slick, you could say. He knows what cards to play in which situation, and he doesn't really resort to quickly resort to violence and stuff or of the sort, and he tends to really focus on his other aspects, in this case manipulating Palpatine to open up, coming across as this bit, I guess, kindly and friendly fellow, which of course we know later on, Palpatine being his apprentice and whatnot, that won't be the case anymore, but it is still, you still get to see that side of Plagueis that's a little bit manipulative, and you see Palpatine slowly opening up a little bit more to him. And even though by the end of the chapter he is still a bit cautious of Palpatine, he is a lot more willing to, not Palpatine, Plagueis, he is still a bit willing to work with Plagueis, and he's a bit softened up to Plagueis and is a bit more willing to work with him. And they come to an agreement that he gives them information about the royal family's plans of the election, and in return, Topolo will be basically benefited into becoming king. It's pretty much just, at that point, it's going to be a guarantee. So, which means, of course, the banking clan, they can make a big profit from the plasma energy, and wazam. When have I ever said wazam? I've never said that before. But yeah, it was a good chapter. I did try to read it earlier, but I've spent most of today actually reading Plagueis, and I needed to wake myself up with a few other things, so I had to stop reading, and I reread the little bits I actually had read and read the chapter down. I enjoyed this chapter. It is a shame that we've only got about 3 chapters left of this part, and then we'll be moving into part 2, which is, in comparison to part 1, quite short. It's only about 8. It's only about 8 chapters, I think. So yeah, it's not that much shorter, but it's still shorter. And in comparison, as I said, it definitely seems a lot shorter. But anyway, count so many times I said shorter. But I personally enjoyed the chapter. I'm personally very intrigued to see how that relationship between Plagueis and Palpatine will work out. It wasn't in this chapter, it was in the last chapter. I just remembered, I got quite excited at the mention of Taris, the planet Taris, because of playing through Knights of the Old Republic. So I got quite excited at a mention of that. But anyway, I don't really have that much else to say. Definitely doing these review videos, it definitely helps clear certain stuff up and in my mind about what happens in the chapter. Like I was barely able to wrap my head around it while reading, talking about what they were trying to do in the business while reading it. Now talking about it, it's made it a little bit more clear, and hopefully it's made it clear to you. If you decide to go through the chapter or the book in general, I would suggest. I'm not finished with the book yet, but I would suggest it, and I'm further into it than I've ever been before. So yeah, I have no plans of stopping it yet, or stopping reading it. So anyway, I don't really have much else to say, so I may as well end it here before I just continue to blabber on and on and on. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter.